Beijing in panic. Urgent meeting over the Yu Menglong case. China's Minister of Public Security, Wang Xiaohong, has been explicitly named in connection with the Yu Menglong case, a revelation that has sent shockwaves through Zhongnanhai. This information comes from commentator Li Muyang, who said a friend sent him a post that had been heavily censored on Weibo. A post revealing what appears to be high-level internal information within the Chinese Communist Party about the Yu Menglong case. According to that post, Lin Beichuan, a man claiming to be a red descendant of the CCP, filed a real-name report against Wang Xiaohong, the Minister of Public Security and a vice, leading the National People's Congress to hold an emergency meeting, summoning and interrogating everyone connected to the case, including those overseas, who were reportedly forcibly brought back to China. At such a standing committee meeting, attending members are typically minister level or higher, which means the people involved are of extremely high rank. The censored post continued, "They don't fear rumors, only the discovery of the truth. The more rumors circulate, the deeper the truth is buried. After several rounds of debunking campaigns, everything ends quietly. Regardless of how this report turns out, the issue has already reached the top leadership. They can't completely ignore it. Even if they decide to investigate Lin Beichuan's background later, it may take time. The internal probe is said to be unprecedentedly strict and merciless. They will not allow the truth to spread freely. In the end, it all depends on how strong Lin Beichuan's backing is." On the side of the perpetrators, the protective umbrellas include Minister Wang Xiaohong and possibly Kai Chi and the Li Peng family. So if Lin hopes to survive, his supporters must be even stronger. Many died unjustly in the Yu Menglong case. It has now been 50 days since Yu Menglong's brutal death, yet there is no official report, no police investigation, an entirely abnormal situation. Some netizens say they saw a post describing the scene. A middle-aged man was found lying beside the trunk that contained Yu Menglong's body. He had tried to rescue the victim, but was caught and later killed to silence him. Other reports claim that a young female fan of Yu Menglong also tried to help him, but was murdered, collapsing on the ground. A couple who happened to pass by and witness the scene were also killed. A body double resembling Yu Menglong was murdered. A paparazzo who had once hinted that Yu was murdered has vanished. A female lawyer who spoke out for justice also seems to have disappeared. The post adds that some police officers who tried to uncover the truth were dismissed, and their whereabouts, or even their survival, remain unknown. Yu Menglong's makeup artist, who once revealed that his body bore many bruises that had to be covered with makeup, is now missing. Even more disturbingly, Yu's mother, cousin, younger sister, and other family members are unaccounted for, their safety uncertain. And those who might have known the truth, doctors, nurses, service staff, and neighbors in the same complex, no one knows if they are still alive and safe. The makeup artist mentioned above is Song Se. He once posted that Yu Menglong's body showed clear signs of being beaten, but the post was quickly deleted. Fortunately, some people managed to save screenshots before it disappeared. Song Se wrote that he was devastated, unable to even answer the phone, saying, "This filthy world destroyed him." He angrily condemned the incident, calling it dark and dirty. He also said, "I was heartbroken when Li Wen died, but Menglong was treated far worse. I simply cannot accept it. I cannot." That phrase, "Menglong was treated far worse," appears to carry a deeper, hidden meaning, though no one knows exactly what he meant. All of this information has been heavily censored by the CCP. Without VPNs to access foreign sources, Chinese citizens would never know the truth. Even now, some have pointed out that the man found lying at the entrance of Building 18 in the Sunshine Upper East residential complex, the same image seen since the very start of the case, was not Yu Menglong, but a substitute made to look like him. So the question remains, where is the real Yu Menglong? It is said that he was moved elsewhere both before and after the torture that ended his life. A major power player is orchestrating the scheme behind the Yu Menglong case. As new evidence keeps surfacing, The picture surrounding Yu Menglong's mysterious death grows darker and clearer. His death struck directly at the CCP's main artery, so much so that the regime allegedly opened fire on innocent civilians at the scene to silence any witnesses. Gunshots were clearly heard that night. According to the People's Paper, netizens have pointed out that ordinary residential cameras don't record audio, but military surveillance cameras do. This indicates that the military had been monitoring figures like Ji Guangguang and Cai Yijia long before the incident. Through wiretapping, they likely knew what these individuals were planning and set up a tightly controlled operation at the scene. In the immediate aftermath of Yu Menglong's death, netizens posted a list of those allegedly involved. Yet leaked footage from the scene showed no sign of names like Xin Qi, Cai Yijia, or Xi Yuanping. Later, however, documents began surfacing that implicated the families of Xi Jinping and Cai Qi, and multiple sources claimed Xi had been forced to issue an internal gag order within the party. That can only mean one thing. A major figure behind the scenes is orchestrating this entire affair, allowing fragments of truth to surface just enough to deliver strategic blows against Xi's faction. It now appears that the Yu Menglong case is entangled in a fierce internal power struggle, and at this stage, Xi's key rival Zhang Yuxia seems to have the upper hand. The first to surface was the case of 23-year-old Australian billionaire Yang Lanlan, who came under public scrutiny following a car accident. Soon after, she was exposed as Xi Jinping's illegitimate daughter, holding personal assets of 270 billion Australian dollars, shocking Chinese communities worldwide. Yang Lanlan became the clearest proof that the CCP's party treasury and the national treasury are, in essence, one and the same. In Yu Menglong's suicide note, he mentioned being harassed by a member of an all-powerful family, described as the Little Princess of Australia, a figure netizens unanimously identified as Yang Lanlan. Next came Xi Jinping's younger brother, Xi Yuanping, the prince mentioned in Yu Menglong's note, accused of having humiliated Yu Menglong. Another major player, Xi's close ally Cai Qi, has also been swept up in multiple scandals. Sources first revealed Cai's involvement in an espionage case. Later, in connection with the Yu Menglong investigation, Xin Qi, head of Tianyu Media Co. Ltd., and believed to be a distant relative of Xi, and Cai Yijia, said to be Cai Qi's illegitimate son, were both implicated. As more revelations spread across social media, Xi Jinping and Cai Qi have found themselves increasingly trapped in the growing scandal, unable to escape. Adding to the tension, blogger Lin Beichuan, who identifies as a third-generation red aristocrat, revealed that each time he tried to upload a photo exposing a key official, the image would simply fail to post. Anyone who attempted to share that official's picture was soon summoned for tea, a euphemism for interrogation by authorities. Meanwhile, as previously reported, all posts mentioning the 8 officials allegedly linked to the case have been completely wiped from China's internet, full censorship in effect. According to commentator Li Daiyu's analysis, after ruling out several of the 8 named officials, he concluded that the most likely suspect is Liu Jingguo. Li Daiyu explained that Liu Jingguo, a former police officer, now serves as aide to Li Shi, a senior figure within Xi Jinping's faction, and is the director of China's National Supervisory Commission, the top agency responsible for investigating party officials. The department operates independently, immune to interference from administrative bodies, social organizations, or individuals. If Liu Jingguo is indeed involved, he would be the highest-ranking figure exposed so far, and likely the chief executor overseeing the operational side of the Yu Menglong case. That, Li concluded, would also explain why gunshots were heard on the night Yu Menglong died. Is Jackson Yi the next victim? Demonic performance shocks fans. Yu Menglong's shocking death sent tremors through China's entertainment world, scarring the hearts of countless celebrities who suddenly realized how fragile their own safety might be. Just 6 days later, on September 16th, top actor Yi Yan Qianqi, better known as Jackson Yi, appeared live online for the first time in 8 years. Viewers watched in silence as he sighed, stacked stones one by one, stopped repeatedly mid-gesture, and seemed to struggle to contain an invisible grief. The broadcast lasted exactly 17 minutes before he ended it quietly. Why does that day matter? According to the timeline, Yu Menglong was reportedly tortured to death on September 10th, and the 16th marked the 7th-day memorial of his passing, a deeply symbolic date in Chinese culture. It's believed that on the 7th day after a person's death, their spirit returns home for one last visit before moving on. Whether coincidence or silent tribute, the timing spoke volumes. Then came an even darker revelation. Netizens began uncovering unsettling footage from Jackson Yee's recent nationwide concert tour, held from August 2nd to September 5, just before Yu's death. The show, titled The Sparrow's Nest, was drenched in ominous imagery. Dim lighting, swirling smoke, a giant unblinking eye projected on stage, blood-red backdrops, and eerie human-shaped dolls. Dancers spun like frenzied spirits in what many described as a cult-like ritual. The atmosphere was suffocating and terrifying, so intense that the audience could be heard screaming in fear. People fear that Jackson Yee might be the next victim, and many are deeply concerned for his safety. And just days after the concert concluded, an uncanny coincidence would shake both East and West. Twin deaths on the same day. Awakening conscience. Charlie Kirk was assassinated around 12:30 p.m. on September 10th in Utah, U.S., roughly 2:30 a.m. on September 11th in Beijing. That very moment is believed to coincide with Yu Menglong's death, as his body was discovered in the early hours of September 11. Another striking coincidence is that the deaths of these two young men both shocked the international community and awakened young people. As netizens put it, America has Charlie Kirk, China has Yu Menglong, two souls from East and West, both on September 10th, who used their lives as milestones to awaken the conscience of young people. According to analysis from the channel Old Beijing Tea House, Charlie Kirk's death jolted countless Americans out of the nightmare of radical leftism. Meanwhile, Yu Menglong's tragic death exposed the filthy and sinister world of China's entertainment industry, filled with manipulation, money laundering, lust, blood, and evil sacrificial rituals. It also struck directly at the core of Beijing's political system, revealing the CCP's demonic nature, and ignited a powerful wave of withdrawals from the Chinese Communist Party and its affiliated organizations across mainland China. All these ripple effects have sent shockwaves through Zhongnanhai, where top officials are reportedly holding emergency meetings, plotting strategies to contain the situation before it spirals out of control. But human schemes can never surpass heaven's will. The CCP leadership will surely remember the warning left behind by the late Chinese Premier Li Keqiang, who is widely believed to have been assassinated under Xi Jinping's orders. Li once said, "Man acts, but heaven watches." Now, retribution seems to be approaching swiftly and powerfully. As we mentioned in the previous episode, British psychic T.Y. William reportedly saw flocks of black crows circling above Xi Jinping's residence. Could these be the countless souls of the wronged, now come to claim his life? Whether or not this vision is true, one thing remains certain. Xi has committed countless crimes, and divine justice will not spare him. Charlie Kirk's death linked to the CCP, U.S. billionaire in Shanghai at the center. Regarding the death of Charlie Kirk, a shocking revelation has just emerged. On October 7th, U.S. Representative Anna Paulina Luna revealed on the X platform that the radical leftist gunman who assassinated Charlie Kirk had direct ties to the Chinese Communist Party. She explained that Neville Singham, an American billionaire with deep business links to Beijing, had transferred foreign funds to a U.S.-based organization, an organization closely connected to the killer himself. That same billionaire, Singham, now lives in Shanghai, China. So how did the CCP's black hand stretch this far? The answer is simple: through proxies. Singham has been pouring money for years into far-left movements around the world, including the very group associated with Charlie Kirk's assassin. Even more alarming, members of that organization reportedly knew about the planned attack ahead of time. In its effort to manipulate the United States through financial infiltration, the CCP ended up exposing its own network. As investigators followed the money trail, U.S. authorities discovered that Singham had also funded the Los Angeles riots in June of this year. So what drives this man? Singham has publicly advocated for the overthrow of capitalism, to replace it with socialism, while openly supporting North Korea and the CCP, and even denying the 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre. In July 2023, he personally attended a CCP-sponsored event titled Forum on Innovative Communication of the International Image of the Communist Party of China. By this point, it's impossible to ignore the truth. Neville Singham has effectively become an agent for Beijing. The man who bankrolled the shooter has turned him into the CCP's gunman, and the far-left organizations fueling unrest in America are now deeply entangled with Xi Jinping's regime. In the years before his death, Charlie Kirk had been one of the most outspoken American voices warning about the dangers of the Chinese Communist Party. He repeatedly called the CCP the greatest threat to global freedom, exposing its infiltration of American universities, tech companies, and political institutions. Kirk urged Washington to wake up to Beijing's long-term strategy of subversion through money, ideology, and manipulation of the media. He often warned that the CCP was not simply competing with the United States, but actively working to destroy it from within. Many of his speeches, interviews, and posts emphasized that Chinese influence operations were already deeply rooted in the U.S., shaping narratives, silencing dissent, and funding radical movements to destabilize the country. Thus, the theory that the Chinese Communist Party was behind Charlie Kirk's death now appears far more plausible and increasingly difficult to dismiss. Xi Jinping out. South Koreans rally in fury as Xi arrives for Trump-Xi summit. Xi isn't just facing protests at home, he's being loudly boycotted everywhere he goes overseas. According to the People's Paper, on the morning of October 30th, Chinese Communist Party leader Xi Jinping arrived in Busan, South Korea, for the long-awaited Trump-Xi summit. But instead of a warm welcome, he was met with waves of protests across the city. Crowds of South Koreans gathered outside Gimhae International Airport and along nearby roads chanting Xi Jinping out and raising banners that read, "Heaven will destroy the CCP." Police were deployed in large numbers, blocking intersections and bridges to contain the demonstrations. In front of the Great Bell of King Sungdeok, more than 100 protesters gathered, holding signs that read, "Stop stealing the nation" and "Korea belongs to Koreans," while waving both South Korean and American flags. One protester, identified only as Choi, told reporters that they had gathered to express one clear message: that the Chinese Communist Party is not welcome on South Korean soil. He emphasized that South Korea is a free democracy, unlike China, and that citizens wanted to warn their government about the CCP's danger and corruption. The demonstrations, marked by drumming and chants, became what locals called a Korean-style protest, spirited, defiant, and impossible to ignore. Regarding the Trump-Xi summit, CCTV News confirmed that it has officially begun. The meeting took place at Gimhae International Airport, where Xi arrived for his state visit as U.S. President Donald Trump prepared to depart after his own engagements. The two leaders met on the sidelines of the APEC summit. This is their first face-to-face encounter during Trump's second term, the last one dating back to June 2019 at the G20 summit. Talks are expected to cover key areas of contention, including tariffs, rare earth elements, agricultural imports, and TikTok, and may result in limited agreements. Yet, analysts caution that, given the deep-rooted strategic rivalry between Washington and Beijing, the meeting is unlikely to produce any breakthroughs, especially on sensitive issues like Taiwan. Beijing is tightening control, Washington is uncovering connections, and the world is beginning to see through the lies. From Yu Menglong to Charlie Kirk, their stories echo across continents, a warning that truth suppressed will always find a voice. And that voice is only getting louder. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your perspective. And don't forget to drop this icon in the comments to help us beat the YouTube algorithm. If you found this analysis valuable, please like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss future updates. Thanks for watching. See you next time.